Working on a pw80. Trying to see if we can flip the rings and get her to run. I'm sure they're bad, but we'll see if we can flip them and see if she fires up. It's worked before, so it's one of those things. I've done it before. Alright, gotta get the exhaust off. This guy here. These things are really simple to work on. Just take the exhaust off of it and then pull the head and the jug off. Piston slide right out. There's the muffler off. One bolt, muffler off. 2 bolts, take the seat off. I think it's another 2 bolts, take the plastic off. And then once you get that muffler off, you take the back exhaust hook up here, and then there's 2 right up under there you gotta take off. Very simple. I think it's all 12 millimeters so far. Too big?
No, I think it needs to be a deep well. A deep well, 12
Let me see. Just unpop it. It's going to be a 14. 13 or 14.
Yeah,
I think 13 probably. So we can find a 13. 13 millimeter. You got a sizer over there? There you go. These 2 guys together here. Downsizer.
I've destroyed one of these downsizers before.
Yeah, it happens. Biggest thing with those downsizers is not to use them in the wrong occasions. That, you know, you're doing a big bolt that's super tight with a super small size adapter. My scenario, I go bigger for what I'm working with, but these are all small and they're not super tight. So these here in the head are going to be 10 millimeters. I guarantee it. I go get a 10. There's my 10. See, you probably can't even read that, but it's written on them. It's almost impossible to see, but it's written on there, 10 millimeter. Either one.
Oh my gosh, the mosquitoes.
Yeah, I call the city all the time to spray out here, and they just don't do it. It's such a back off the beaten path. Now, if I lived in town, that might be a different story.
Yeah, but in town they don't have them.
As much, but they spray for them more. You get the truck that drives around and sprays.
That's they did it by airplane.
Out here they will sometimes if you call a bunch. See how he's kind of breaking them loose slowly in a pattern, because these heads are aluminum and they're really easy to warp. If you aren't careful, you don't want to just break all the tension off of one bolt at one time. You just want to break them down slow in a pattern, 4-way pattern, kind of like you would do a tire.
Get this stupid thing off and that's so tight.
I like that because then they don't just pull off under, you know, when you're on a bolt that's really wedged, and then you lose your socket way up in an area that you can't get to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too many hands one time. Almost can't even see what I'm doing. Feeling for that nut on the other side. Okay, so the head's coming off. There's the cylinder and the piston, and let's pull that jug off.
All the fun stuff.
Oh, you didn't pull the exhaust out. There we go.
What's that stupid thing?
So we'll drop that off. Cylinder's off. Let's look in here.
Not touching those rings.
So this thing's been scraping over here. If you can see those 2 lines there. It's been scraping on exhaust. Gouged in pretty bad. Because one of the rings got loose on me and was slipping. So made for a really bad dilemma. So now we're going to pull this. This is your piston right here, and you got your 2 rings. 1, 2. For these 2 strokes, they're both compression rings. Yeah. See, that's got some wear. And you got the crank inside there. See the crank moving. See if we can move it here as it goes in. Oh, can't get it to pull all the way. There we go. Now she rolled. So, got oil in the crank like she's supposed to. Now, on these oiler 2 strokes, I don't use the oilers. I don't trust them because the oil pumps quit on them. So I just don't fill the oil containers up with oil. I just run a 2-stroke mix. And yeah, and I might put a little bit in there once in a while just to make sure it lubricates a little bit, but not much. Because like I said, I don't use them. On my jet ski, it's the same thing. I obsoleted my oil pump, and I just mix straight and don't put any oil in my oil pump. Or oil reservoir, should I say. Because what you can do is you can fill the reservoir, and then you can fill the fuel tank up with just regular gas and run them, and it mixes automatically in the carburetor. But if your oil pump if your oil pump stops working and you're out there running and you don't realize it, you end up burning the motor up. So to bypass that and not worry about it anymore, I just bypass these oil reservoirs like this one has right here up completely and just mix my 2-stroke and put it in the fuel tank and let it do it just like old school. And it doesn't ever give me any problems. It's worked for years. I've been doing it on my 2-stroke jet skis, and all my mechanics that I used to work with has recommended it too. So I recommend it. It gives me a lot less problems, a lot less rebuilds. This thing has a brand new motor in it, even though it's all dusty and dirty. I'll show you that real quick. It's up through here. This one here is in the middle of a rebuild. This is a 100 2-stroke. And then right here. So we got this guy here. Brand new Rotex. Completely custom. Like I said, I don't run through the oil reservoir with the oil pump. I just I just mix my 2-stroke and run it that way. It's a lot easier, and it gives me no fails. That way I know it's always lubricated. That thing's really dusty and dirty. Haven't ran it in a couple years, but I always run them out of gas, so they're good to go. And you know, always run salt away through them first off. Even though that one's never been in the salt water, I still run salt away on it. Alright, so let's get this piston.
Oh, you want to take the piston off?
Don't you want to do that, swap the rings, or you want to just swap them in place?
I would just swap the rings.
Alright, well, we need that little flathead screwdriver.
I don't like touching them, because last time I did that, I slipped my finger over.
Yeah, you can't run them on the side, or run your finger on the side of the ring. You want to be really careful on the top, especially if you haven't rebuilt your rings in a while, because the wear on them will make them really slender and sharp, and they'll cut you pretty deep, like a razor blade. So you just really kind of just be careful with it. My hands are so calloused, you know, they just don't even phase them anymore. Here, can you hold this while I pull the ring? Let's just pull that one off. Hey, does that one reach all the way? I can't see.
You want to come under my
in the right position. Can you see the little nodule there?
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay. Pull this guy off. Really hard when it's in the motor.
Well, that's up to you if you want to pull the piston. I was just, you know, I don't like walking with those stupid soul clips.
No, don't typically do it inside the motor.
Kylo's calling.
Can you mute that? Hit the red button on. Feels like she's froze.
Oh, this one looks, that top one looks frozen. I mean, it's not even really doing a whole lot.
See if I can. I want to come over here and try to get this
Yeah.
on the video. Because I'm just going to pull this wrist pin out. So there's this little G clip in here. Kind of just grab a hold of it. And as you twist, you kind of tilt out and it'll just rotate itself out. And then you should be able to push the wrist pin through. See if I can do that from the other side. You can stay there.
Little flathead. Oh, Phillips. Oh.
I always like to use an extension.
Why do I need it?
I'm showing the camera. I always like to use an extension that fits about the size of what you're dealing with, so you don't damage anything. Allows it to push it right through. Put that up on here. You never want to put greasy parts on the ground in the sand. It's one thing that I was always taught. Better to put it on another greasy part that's not in the sand. Which I should have my table over here for this. So that ring just popped right off. That ring was seized right there.
Yeah, I know. Both of them were seized at the one end. Whatever. Whatever.
There's my mark. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the ring placement mark. I see that one.
There it is.
Okay, so that one's right there. That one's really hard to see, but I'll show you on the other one.
So what's going on?
This one's a little bit worn out. This one's a little bit worn out, so I'm not going to show you on this one. This ring's probably going to seize right in here. The piston's got so much.
Is that the one you just pulled off the top?
No, that's the bottom. The top's on the ground already.
I thought you pulled off the top second.
No, I pulled off the top first. It was easy. It popped right out, so I just pulled it first.
And the other one jumped into the top's position.
As I was pulling it, yeah. So this ring guide right here is so jacked out. I don't know if you can see that. The scarring in that piston. All the marks in it. So, I mean, this thing's pretty much done. Needs a rebuild. You'd be lucky to get it running. But it's worth 10 minutes to take the, or, you know, the hour it takes to take this apart and put it back together and let the kids try it and see if they can get it to fire up and run for a few. Last time we got it to run for a little while. So, I don't know, it might be too done. I'm just kind of trying to make sure that there's no burrs in there. Alright, top ring, which was the bottom ring. And find that ring guide again. There it is. It's just a little hump inside there. If you look at the ring, see if I can show you. If you look at the ring, let that focus. Just don't move. If you move, it won't focus. Maybe I can use this as a background. It's not focusing very well. Anyways, there's these two marks in the ring. You can see one of them right there. It's like an etched in rounded edge. When they come together, you can see that little cutout in there. That sits over that guide. If you don't have that lined up, the guide's going to be pushing your ring out and it's going to cause massive scarring. If the piston or the ring moves on that guide when you're running it, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to stick out massive scarring. This ring does not want a seat in this piston, which makes me really nervous that it's just going to fail on me. But hey, I am one of those kind of people that says give it a shot. It's worth a shot. So we're giving it a shot. Okay, swap the ring. Try not to get nothing in there. I'm not really as concerned. Like I said, it already needs a rebuild. I'm already planning on rebuilding it eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually I will be rebuilding it. So, that being said, I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going to completely destroy too much of anything, I don't think. If it does, I'll just rebuild more. Got it for free. Run it for free. So, let's see what we can do. Back on. Jug is offside down. Back on. Back on, we need the head. Head. Slide up. Back on.
And you gotta make sure, yeah, to put the washers.
I got it, Lee. I got it. I'm not sure this has a foot-pound setting, but we're kind of just going to go by feel on this guy. I'm not 100% concerned, like I said. So, that wouldn't be my first head that I'm putting on before. Without a foot-pound wrench, torque wrench. I have one, but with little projects like these that just like tinkering with, I'm not really concerned about using it until I do the complete rebuild. When I do the complete rebuild, I'll set it right to its torque settings. Right now I'm probably running about 15, 20, maybe only 12, somewhere in there.
You want me to put the exhaust on?
Yep, exhaust goes back on, and we will go from there. See if she'll fire up. I think I got some 2-stroke gas.
Definitely don't want to put some diesel in here.
It's bone dry right now. She might have leaked all the gas into the carburetor. Ow. That big sucker always giving me a problem. Let that off before I do anything. Doesn't squirt gas all over the place. So, as before, 2 bolts on, exhaust on.
Okay, I gotta put that donut in now.
Where is it?
Right there.
They should just make another one of those.
We should just leave it off.
No,
Okay, that's not a good
no. It's the only thing that seats in between the two. You know what I'm saying? I guess we could grind the head and the exhaust till we got them to connect perfectly flush, and then just put a paper gasket in there really tight. That might do it for this old girl. Not even sure what year directly this thing is. I just get a lot of stuff given to me. Dirt bikes and four-wheelers and motorcycles, and we got another motorcycle, 2001 Kawasaki Virago coming to me. That's another one I gotta deal with. Maybe get it running, maybe not. Yep. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You get in a habit of trying to do this stuff too quick. You forget steps. Where's the one that goes there? This one?
No.
The shorter one?
No, that one goes over here.
Okay.
That one does go.
So, you gotta bring her back.
When will you be ready to go, Lee?
Nowhere near, dude.
He's nowhere near
No.
ready. Want me to just come and get him tomorrow?
I'd bring him home tomorrow. Right there, right there, right there, right there.
What'd you say? You could bring him home?
Yeah, because I'll be going there.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
You want to stay here, or do you want to come back with me? Grandma's got some stuff that she needs me to do.
I can stay here.
Are you fine with that? Sure?
Yes, I've been staying here for like 4 days.
I know. I don't really like it, but then again, it's nice that you have John.
He's got
Family.
projects
Projects, that's what I mean,
and something he's got hope to riding.
Alright. What time do you plan on being at the house tomorrow?
It's gonna be early. I'm gonna try to be there at like 8:30 if I can.
That'd be good.
Maybe
I'll
9 at
make
the latest.
coffee if you're gonna be there.
Well, I'll have a cup of coffee for sure.
You'll have a cup of coffee.
Can't go without it.
Yeah. Okay.
Not in the morning. So now snug her down. Always make sure you get all your bolts in from your headers to your exhaust pipe bolts
Okay, yeah.
before you lock everything down, because it might not be in the right position. And then you got to go back and loosen everything up. Start again.
Oh, were you?
This guy.
I don't know.
Gotta go
Wherever
around
it's
there.
showing you is where you need to go.
Oh yeah, I was on 75, yes. Making a right on. No through trucks. That's where I'm headed, 127 North, US 42.
All right.
So it's amazing.
I'll make another one. Watch for part 2 to see it running.
Rough.